Hello. So we're going to work on 4.3 today. And so our topic is interpret the remainder. And it says our essential question is how can you use remainders in division problems? Okay, so unlock the problem. Magda has some leftover wallpaper 73 inches long. She wants to cut it into 8 pieces to use around the photos in her scrapbook. Each piece will have equal length. How long will each piece be? Okay, so when you solve a division problem with a remainder, the way you interpret the remainder depends on the situation and the question. Okay, so here's one way. We can write the remainder as a fraction, and the divisor is 8 pieces. The dividend, the number that we're splitting up or sharing, is 73. And so when we divide, it's showing us that 9 times 8 is 72 with a remainder of 1. So the remainder represents 1 inch left over. So we can divide that 1 inch into 8 separate pieces and write it as a fraction. So it would be the remainder of 1 over the divisor, which in this problem was 8. So write the quotient with the remainder written as a fraction. So 9 and 1/8. So each piece we could say is 9 and 1/8 inches. So it makes sense to split up that last inch of the wallpaper, okay, so that each one has the same amount. Daniel made 32 ounces of soup for 5 people. How many ounces will each person get? And complete the division problem. So if we counted by fives, 5 times 1 is 5, 5 times 2 is 10, 5 times 3 is 15, 5 times 4 is 20, 5 times 5 is 25, 5 times 6 is 30. So that's the closest I can get to 32 without going over. So it would be 6 times 5, 30, and we're going to subtract and we get 2 left over. So we have 2 ounces of soup left. So we're going to put the 2, the remainder, over the divisor 5. So I can split those last 2 ounces evenly into 5 groups. So 2/5. So everybody gets 6 and 2/5 ounces. Okay, let's go to 152. Other ways. We could use only the quotient to solve these problems. Or to interpret the remainder. And so Ben is a tour guide at a glass blowing studio. He can take no more than 7 people at a time on a tour. If 80 people want to see the glass blowing demonstration, how many groups of 7 will Ben show around? All right, so first we need to divide to find the quotient and the remainder. Then we're going to decide how to use the quotient and remainder. So the quotient in this case is 11. Okay, so the answer to the division problem right now is 11. The remainder is 7 times 11 is 77. Subtract, we get 3 left. So we have a remainder of 3. So now Ben can give tours to 7 people at a time. The quotient is the number of tour groups of exactly 7 people, right? So right now he has exactly 11 groups of 7. But 3 more want to go. So right now he's giving 11 tours to 7 people each. So we're going to have to add 1 to the quotient this time so that we can include the people that were left over, the remainder people. So Ben will have to give 12 tours in order to include all 80 people. So Ben gives tours to all 80 people. After he completes the tours for groups of 7 people, how many people are in his last tour? So in this case, we're just using the remainder. So the remainder in that case was 3. So he only had 3 people left in that 12th tour. All right, so let's try this. Students are driven to soccer games in vans. Okay, each van holds 9 students. How many vans are needed for 31 students? So we need to divide 31 by 9. How many 9s will it take to get close to 31 without going over? Well, we can list our 9s. 9, 18, 27, 36. 36 is too many. So I can only put 3 in each group of 9 into the 9 groups. So 9 times 3 is 27. Subtract, we get 4 left over. So we have a remainder of 4. So this 9 is the number of students. The 3 represents the number of vans. So we're going to say 3, remainder 4. And since there are 4 students left over, I'm going to have an extra van. I can't get away with just 3 vans because that's only 27 students. So I need to add 1 more to the number of vans. $153. Olivia baked 53 mini loaves of banana bread to be sliced for snacks at a craft fair. She'll place an equal number of loaves in 6 different locations. How many loaves will be at each location? And so part A, divide to find the quotient and the remainder. So 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 3 is 18. 6 times 4 is 24. 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 7 is 42. 6 times 8 is 48. 6 times 9 is 54. Okay, so 54 is too many. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And obviously that would have been simpler if we just knew that 6 times 8 is 48. So another plug for memorizing your math facts. All right, we subtract, we get a remainder of 5. All right, so decide how to use the quotient. So she's putting mini loaves, bread, right? Can I split up a bread into slices? I can, right? So I'm going to say 8 and 5/6 loaves. Okay, so 8 was my quotient. I had a remainder of 5. So I'm going to take these 5 extra loaves and split them into 6 equal groups. So 5/6. Okay, number 2. What if Olivia wants to put only whole loaves at each location? How many loaves will be at each location? Okay, well, when I look at this problem, the 8 is the whole number. The 5/6 is what's left over. 5/6 is a fraction. So if she only wants whole numbers, she'll only put 8. 3. Ed carves 22 small wooden animals to sell at the craft fair. He displays them in rows with 4 animals in a row. How many animals will not be in equal rows? Okay, so our question is 22 divided by 4. So let's take 22 and divide by 4 this way. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. 4 times 5 with a remainder of 2. So 4 animals in a row, so 5 rows of 4 and 2 left over. So 2 animals would not be in equal rows. Number 4. Myra has 17-foot roll of crepe paper to make 8 streamers to decorate for a party. How long will each streamer be if she cuts the roll into equal pieces? Okay, so our problem is 17. That's how much we got to share with 8 streamers. So 17 divided by 8. 8 times what is close to 17? 8 and 2 is 16, so 2. and I'd have 1 left over. So 2, remainder 1. Okay, this is just like the wallpaper question where we could split that last inch. So we can split this last foot of the crepe paper with 8 groups, with 8 streamers. So we can have 2 1/8 feet per streamer. Number 5, Juan has a piano recital next month. Last week he practiced for 8 hours in the morning and 7 hours in the afternoon. Each practice session is 2 hours long. How many full practice sessions did Juan complete? Okay, so 8 plus 7, that's how many hours he practiced, right? And that gives you 15. And then it told us that sessions of 2 hours makes up a full session. So we're going to take 15 and divide by those 2 hours. So 15 divided by 2. Well, I know 2 times 7 is 14 with 1 remainder. So how many full sessions? 7. And number 6. A total of 25 students sign up to be hosts on Parents' Night. Teams of 3 students greet parents. How many students cannot be on a team? All right. So we only have 25 students, and they need to be split into groups of 3. All right. So 25 divided by 3. Well, I know 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 8 is 24. That is closest I'm going to get. And that leaves me with 1 left over. So how many students will be left over or not on a team? Unfortunately, in this case, only 1. 1 student. There will be 8 teams of 3, which is 24 students. 25 take away 24 equals 1 left. Okay. And 154. So Teresa is making sock puppets, just like the one in the picture. If she has 53 buttons, how many puppets can she make? All right, so it takes how many buttons? 3 here, 2 there. So 5, right? 5 buttons per puppet. So we have 53 divided by 5. And so we can rewrite this as 53 divided by 5 like this. And 5 times what is 50? 10, right? 5 times 10 is 50 with 3 left over. So can she make a puppet out of these last 3 buttons? No. So she can make 10 sock puppets. Write a question about Teresa and the sock puppets for which the answer is 3. Okay. So it takes 5 buttons to make a puppet, right? And if she has 53 buttons, how many buttons will not be used? Well, we already know, 3. Because 10 times 5 is 50 with 3 left over. 5 times 10 equals 50. 53, take away 50 equals 3 left over. Okay. How many more buttons will Teresa need if she wants to make 12 puppets? Well, we already know 10 times 5 equals 50. 11 times 5 is 55. 12 times 5 is 60. So if she wants to make 12 puppets, she has to have 60 buttons. So 60 take away 53. She needs 7 more buttons. Okay. So she needs 7 more buttons. Why does she need 7 more buttons? Because 12 times 5 is 60. So she needs 60 buttons to make 12 puppets. She has 53 buttons already. So 60 take away 53 will tell you how many more buttons she needs. All right. And number 10, a total of 56 students signed up to play in a flag football league. Each team has 10 students. How many more students will need to sign up so all the students can be on a team? All right, so we have 56 students, and we're going to put 10 students on a team. Okay, well, I know 10 times 5 is 50. That's going to leave me 6 players. 5 teams with 6 left over. How many more students need to sign up? Well, I need 10 on a team. So 6 plus 4 is 10. So I need 4 more students. All right, and number 11. A teacher plans for groups of her students to eat lunch at tables. She has 34 students in her class. Each group will have 7 students. How many tables will she need? Explain how to use the quotient and remainder to answer the question. So 34 students divided by 7 students at a table. So 7 times 5 is 35. So that's too big. So I'm going to say 4. 7 times 4 is 28. And that leaves me a remainder of 6. So right now, if I have 4 tables, I've got 6 students not sitting at a table. So I need a 5th table, right? So I need 5 tables. Not I, she will need 5 tables. There will be 4 full tables of 7, which is 28 students. So they need 1 more table. For the other 6 students. Okay, she will need 5 tables. There will be 4 full tables of 7, which is 28 students. And so they're going to need 1 more table for the other 6 students. Okay, so that's it for lesson 4.3. And so until our next lesson, which is dividing tens, hundreds, and thousands, may the numbers always be in your favor.